Hey everybody, Cinephile Mike is here, and it is day 17 of Awards Season Reviews, Season 3. 97 reviews coming at you in 97 days, covering many of the films in contention for Award Season 2025. As many of these films are still in theaters, all the information I'm providing you is current within 7 days of recording. I'll be giving you the critical response, the box office information, insight into its awards run so far, my predictions on nominations and wins based on this point within the year, and as always, these reviews are best as possible, spoiler free. Also, make sure you check out my website, cinephilemike.com, for the ever important Where Can I Watch It spreadsheet 2024 edition, where you can track the nominations and wins for all the films vying this season and also see how to watch them. This gets updated every 3 to 4 days, so information can be updated. So if you look and you're like, oh man, that film's not streaming yet, check back in a few days. That information may change. So, we are in our new theme week. It is Doc Week. We are looking at 7 documentaries that are vying for awards contention. Some have already had some victories at ceremonies, such as the Critics' Choice Documentary Awards, the British Independent Film Awards, the International Documentary Association Awards, and the varied critic circles. Some are still hoping to hear about that glorious Oscar slot, and all are worthwhile to hear about. So, today I am looking at probably one of the most timeliest documentaries that's on the boards this season, Yabaye Media and Antipod Films' No Other Land. Written and directed by the team of Basel Adra, Hamdan Ballal, Yuval Abraham, and Rachel Szor, the film has had an international release and has had a few domestic showings, but no full theatrical run yet. As per Box Office Mojo, the film's current worldwide take comes only from the international box office, which is $56,387, and that will be growing. On Rotten Tomatoes, for the first time this season, with 44 critical reviews, No Other Land currently sits with a 100% critical score. However, there is no popcorn meter yet. There are no audience scores being tabulated. No Other Land is one of the most awarded documentaries so far this season. On top of several wins for Best Documentary or Nonfiction Film at several film festivals, the film also won this at the Gotham Awards, the International Documentary Association Awards, in addition to 2 other wins for Best Director and the Courage Under Fire Award, and I will talk about that one. The LA Film Critics Association Awards, the New York Films Critics Circle Awards, and it was awarded the Freedom of Expression Award by the National Board of Review. It is also currently nominated for Best Documentary at the Independent Spirit Awards. So, No Other Land is a collaboration between a young Palestinian activist named Basel Adra and Yuval Abraham, a young Israeli journalist. With their team, they chronicle several years as they document Israel's military forcing the Palestinians off of their land. In the southern West Bank, there is a small collection of 20 small villages that make up Masafer Yatta. From these, in the midst of the Israeli Palestinian conflict, the military is forcing the Palestinian residents from their homes, demolishing them right before their eyes, and not just homes, but schools, offices, farms, whatever they feel they need to clear away in order for the Israeli army to have more training grounds and whatever else they deem the land necessary for. They are forcing people off the land, and we see them move sometimes into caves with no electricity or power just in order to stay together and have a place to live, especially if they don't have the means to leave the country. Or in some cases, people don't. This is their home. It has been for hundreds of years, and they don't want to leave. They want to rebuild, but this is deemed illegal without the proper permits, which obviously they aren't being granted. So it is a constant back and forth. Basil comes from a family of activists and has been documenting the struggle for years. In 2019, he met Yuval and they decided to collaborate to make this story more known, despite the dangers that it brings, and brings it does. We check in with the team over the years as they document the tragedies we see, some of which sometimes almost seems to borderline, I don't want to say snuff film, but there is some grisly action that we see, and the military almost seems to not even be concerned at times that they're being on camera. And when we capture footage of them shouting to the army, "Why are you doing this? This isn't fair," and hearing responses of "so" or "it doesn't matter." It's really a behind the veiled scenes of only the little bit of what the news has told us about. Basel, Yuval, and their team do not shy away from showing anything, using entirely spy footage type camera work. Everything is recorded and edited as the film shows us everything. In particular, there are two instances where the film gets very uncomfortable to watch. One depicting the aftermath of a shooting by a Palestinian just protesting his materials, a generator being taken away after his home was demolished, and the other one is why the film won the Courage Under Fire award. And Basil is in the midst of it, and we follow his shaky camera as we wonder what's going to happen to him. This is more visceral than other documentaries we've seen that have covered some of these struggles in different countries. And, throughout all of this, Basil became known because he was posting everything on Instagram, on Facebook, and news affiliates were starting to pick up his content and share it with the world so people could see. Yuval talks about the articles that he's posting and realizes the dangers in doing so, and even references that, these articles that he's posting are not getting the attention that he would think that they would. So we kind of see this political struggle. My apologies. And while he means well, his presence, Yuval, being an Israeli, does put some tension amongst the people, and the film doesn't shy away from showing this. We see some of the conversations with him and the Palestinians and the struggle about why this is being done. And, while this is a difficult subject to watch, there's a beauty in the resiliency we see of the people trying to fight back. And kind of like I talked about a little bit with Black Box Diaries earlier this week, trying to change the narrative and reclaim the victimhood and not necessarily show that this is going to let them break them down. Like they'll live in the caves, they will rebuild and do whatever they can to fight for the land that they believe is theirs. And unfortunately, given the attention the film is starting to get, it may raise some questions or concerns about what's happening to some of the subjects in the documentary. Where are they now? Um, so again, very timely. So an Oscar contender, I think without question. The Academy loves to recognize the films that, especially in the documentary category, that are sometimes most relevant to current times, and this one could not be more so. In fact, a lot of the insider articles that you can read online state, No Other Land is one of the five. What are the other four going to be? It's almost not really a conversation. Could there be other nominations in its future? I don't believe so at the Oscars. It was not submitted as the international feature film for its respective country. So I think just the best documentary nod which is a pretty safe lock, is all the film we'll see at the Oscars. And I believe it will continue to dominate as it has already done so. Although there is another film which I will be talking about tomorrow or the next day that is kind of coming up right behind it as a prominent one. So what do I think about this film? No Other Land is a powerful, uncomfortable to watch, but 5-star film for me. If you would like to catch it, there are a few independently released screenings in select cities. You'd have to check online. It's available to stream on the International Documentary Association's website if you are a member until the end of the calendar year. There's no other streaming information available at this time. And given that the film is still seeking a domestic distributor, there's no information as to when we would have more of a theatrical release. So, there it is. 17 down, 80 to go. As always, if you like what you heard here today, please click that subscribe button, like the video, spread the word. You can follow me, Cinephile Mike, on all social media platforms and on Letterboxd. I've put out a poll out there to hear about what feel-good awards films you want to hear me talk about during the holiday week, so please chime in on that. Still got to go get some more tea. Not almost there. Not quite. We're going to keep working on it. But until next time, this is Cinephile Mike saying take a break and watch something new.